learners, I'm Cynthia Amwa, your integrated science teacher presenter. Today our topic is how clouds are formed. How clouds are formed. Now before we start today's lesson, let us look at our homework on the other time. Homework number 1. State 2 benefits of evaporation in water cycle. State 2 benefits of evaporation in water cycle. And these are our answers. Evaporation is the primary means by which water moves from the earth to the sky. 2. Evaporation absorbs the heat in the atmosphere and cools the environment. Homework number 1. Now let's look at number 2. The question says, give 2 benefits of condensation in the water cycle. Give 2 benefits of condensation in the water cycle. And the answers are: condensation is responsible for the formation of clouds. Condensation is responsible for the formation of clouds. 2. Clouds produce rain. Clouds produce rain. This helps water to get back to the earth in the water cycle. In the water cycle. Now today's topic. Today we are coming to look at how clouds are formed. How clouds are formed. Now before we start today's lesson, let's look at our lesson objectives. Lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to 1. Explain what clouds are. Explain what clouds are. 2. State 3 things that form clouds. State 3 things that form clouds. So these are our lesson objective. And the third one, explain how clouds are formed. Explain how clouds are formed. So we should be able to achieve all our objectives. So let's look at the introduction. These are clouds. So how are they formed? Now, water is a substance made up of hydrogen and oxygen. Water is a substance made up of hydrogen and oxygen, as we can see on our screen. We have one atom of oxygen, another atom of oxygen, and then another atom of hydrogen, and then oxygen. One atom of hydrogen, another atom of hydrogen, and then oxygen. So we have 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, making water. Good. So water is the only substance that can exist in 3 states. Water is the only substance that can exist in 3 states. And these are: 1. Solid in the form of ice. Solid in the form of ice. Then liquid that can flow. Liquid that can flow. And the last one, gas in the form of vapor. Gas in the form of vapor. Good. Now, 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. So if you look at the globe, you see that 70% of the water surface is covered with water. Earth's surface is covered with water. So let's look at the picture here. You will see that the blue color here is made up of water. And only this space is the land. So 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, as we can see on our screen. This is the water, the blue as we can see here. And then the yellow one, 30% is the land. Good. So, in liquid form, this 70% of water includes, we have river, as we can see on our screen, is flowing. We have stream. Now look at the speed of the river, the difference between river and stream. River and stream. See that the river is moving very fast. As you can see, look at it. It is moving very fast. The speed of the water coming is very high. Compared to the stream, is low. So, in liquid form, this 70% of water include river, stream. We have the lake. Lake is not moving today. And the sea. You have all seen the sea before. Some of you have seen it. Others, you haven't seen the sea before. Now this is the sea. Yes. And then we have pond. We have waterfall. Good. Now in solid form, this 70% of water include Iceland. Iceland, found in some countries. Other countries, they don't have. So in solid form, this 70% of water include Iceland, formed in some countries. In gas form, this 70% of water include water vapor. So as we can see on our screen. Now look at this. When it boils, when it boils, we get what? Water vapor. As we can see, the vapor will be going up. So if you look at the charts, we will see it here. We have the oxygen, we have nitrogen, carbon dioxide, argon, and we have water vapor here and other gases. So the water vapor, very, very small. Good. Now, water cycle is the process by which the water moves from the Earth's surface and the atmosphere. Water cycle is the process by which the water moves from the Earth's surface and the atmosphere. So as we can see, we have ocean, we have waterfalls, so they will leave the surface of the water and the atmosphere. Good. Through this water cycle, water from the atmosphere is distributed all over the places on the earth. All over the places on earth. This benefits both animals and plants. Good. Now there are 4 processes that bring about rainfall. We have 4 processes and we are coming to look at them. And these are, the first one is evaporation. And the second one is condensation. Third one, precipitation. And the last one is collection. But for today, we are coming to look at evaporation and condensation. Good. Now, what is evaporation? We are coming to look at it. So, evaporation is the process by which heated water changes into water vapor. So, when you put your water on fire, when it boils to a certain temperature, you will see water vapor coming. So evaporation is the process by which heated water changes into water vapor. As we can see on our screen, we put water in a pan and we put it on fire. When it boils to 100 degrees Celsius, you see the water boiling and the water vapor will be coming. So that is what evaporation. It is the process by which heated water changes into water vapor. It changes into water vapor. So without heating, you won't get water vapor. Good. How water changes to water vapor. How water changes to water vapor. Let's look at this diagram on our screen. When you apply heat to the water, now water is made up of one atom of hydrogen, another atom of hydrogen, and one atom of oxygen. So we have two atoms of hydrogen and one oxygen, one atom of oxygen, coming together to form one molecule of water. One molecule of water. So when you put the water on fire at 100 degrees Celsius, the water will start boiling. It will start boiling. So how water changes to water vapor. So when the water boils, the molecule, they will separate. When it starts boiling, the molecule of the water will start separating. Now the atom, one atom of hydrogen will move, another atom of hydrogen will move, and then the oxygen will also move. So the bond between them will be weak. It will separate, and we get our vapor. Get our vapor. So we get to the next process called condensation. What is condensation? What is condensation? Now let's look at this and we will get to understand condensation. Now when you put the water on the fire to boil, as it boils, the vapor collects on the surface of the lid and it falls into the beaker, as we can see. So as it is boiling, when it gets here, then it forms the water. This is what we call condensation. So condensation is the process by which water vapor changes into liquid. Water vapor changes into liquid. So this is what we are talking about. Condensation is the process by which water vapor changes into liquid. And you can try it in your various homes. Put water on the fire, let it boil, close it, and when you open, you see droplets of water on the lid. You see that when you open it and you tilt it, the water will fall. That is what we call condensation. It's the process by which water vapor changes into liquid. How condensation occurs, we are coming to look at it. So as I was saying, one molecule of water is made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So when you apply heat, yes, when you apply heat, let's look at it. One hydrogen will leave. The bond between them will break. Another hydrogen will leave. And the last one, the oxygen, will also leave, as we can see on our screen. So they will come together. They will come together. Now when they come together, they fall. They can fall in the beaker. This is how condensation occurs. This is how condensation occurs. Good. Now let's continue. Now how clouds are formed with the application of evaporation and condensation, clouds are formed. So let's look at it. Now, clouds consist of many tiny droplets from the condensation of water vapor into liquid water or ice. Clouds consist of many tiny water droplets from the condensation of water vapor into liquid water or ice. So as we can see on our screen, clouds are formed from the cooling of water vapor. So the cooling of water vapor, smoke, and dust particles that moves up into the atmosphere. Clouds are formed from the cooling of water vapor, smoke, and dust particles that moves up into the atmosphere. So let's continue. The sun is considered the most important part of the formation of clouds because its heat allows water to evaporate into the atmosphere. So without the sun, we won't get our clouds. So the sun is considered the most important part of the formation of clouds because its heat allows water to evaporate into the atmosphere from streams, rivers, waterfalls, and then we get our clouds. The sun will shine on them and it evaporates into the atmosphere and we get our clouds. So let's see how it happens. How water evaporates into the atmosphere. As we can see, this is the sun. And when it shines, the energy from the sun, when it shines on the water body, it evaporates and the water gets into the atmosphere. So how condensation occurs to form clouds? Let's look at it. This is sea water. And let's look at it. When it shines on it, we have pond. This is pond. When the energy from the sun shines on it, it evaporates. So when clouds become heavy, they produce rain. They produce rain. This helps water to get back into the earth. So as we can see, when the clouds are formed, when they become heavy, they fall as rain. Good. Now we have come to the summary of our lesson. How clouds are formed. Now clouds form when the water vapor in the air condenses into water droplets. So the water bodies in our environment, when the sun shines on it, the water evaporates and it gets into our atmosphere. When it gets there, when the clouds are heavy, they form. When the droplets of water are heavy, they form cloud. They form cloud. So this is how clouds are formed. So without the sun, without the water bodies, we can't get cloud. So this is how clouds are formed. And we talked about two processes, evaporation and then condensation. So without evaporation and condensation, clouds will not be formed. Good. So you have done very, very well. So water vapor, water droplets, they get into the atmosphere. They fall as rain. So without the clouds, without the formation of clouds, we won't get rainfall and we won't get food to eat. Good. So let's test ourselves on the formation of clouds. Good. Question number 1. After water vapor is carried to the atmosphere, what happens to it? After water vapor is carried to the atmosphere, what happens to it? It goes into outer space. It turns to gas. It forms clouds. So what will be the answer? Yes, it forms cloud. It forms clouds. Question number 2. Formation of clouds always starts with. Formation of clouds always starts with condensation, evaporation, rains. So which one is the answer? It's from evaporation. Evaporation. Question number 3. Which of the following is the most important in the formation of cloud? The most important. Moon, sun, stars. Which one? The sun. Sun. Good. Number 4. The clouds we see up there are made of rain, water droplets, snow. Yes, water droplets. And the last one. When clouds become heavy, they produce rain, water vapor, salts. Yes, they produce rain. Good. You have done very, very well. Now take your homework. Good. Homework number 1. Homework number 1. What are clouds? What are clouds? 2. Explain how clouds are formed. Explain how clouds are formed. So I'll give you 1 minute to copy the homework. I hope you copied the homework. You have done very, very well. Try and solve, and next time when we meet, we shall discuss the answers. Hope to see you. Bye-bye.